Let's talk to Martin Lewis, though, because Martin Lewis, who is, of course, one of the most successful Britons of all time, money-saving expert, of course, he's not happy with what Facebook have been doing, which is basically allowing people who are not affiliated with him using his likeness, using his name, to basically scam people into investing money into dodgy kind of situations, right?
And of course, this is going to be a real test case because is Facebook that publisher or just a platform for other people to publish their stuff?
Exactly right. Martin, a very good morning to you and a happy St George's Day.
Good morning, Martin.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Tell us what made you do it. It's quite a big step. You know, Facebook are a massive company. Mark Zuckerberg, one of those people who is a sort of master of the universe. I mean, what are you planning to get out of this?
Well, I don't particularly want to go to court, but we have issued proceedings in the High Court today for defamation. For over a year, I have had fake advert after fake advert published on Facebook for scams which trick vulnerable people into putting money into horrible things called binary trading schemes. They use fronts like calling themselves Bitcoin code or Bitcoin trading, even though they're nothing to do with it. And it's a big picture of me saying, put your money in, get rich quick.
Right.
I've invested £250,000 in it. It's a lie. Now, I don't do adverts, full stop. And I've said to Facebook, I don't do adverts. So any advert with me in is a fake.
Right.
You have the best facial recognition software in the world. Don't publish adverts with me in. But what it does is says, no, you have to report adverts to us. So when someone eventually tells me about one, of course I don't see them, but some people see them. If we can track down the advert, we try and report the advert, we report the advert. A couple of weeks later, if we're lucky, they take down the advert. And then the next day, a new advert launches. And I have to do the whole thing again.
Right.
Now, Facebook says it doesn't tolerate scam adverts. Well, it has over 50, and that's a conservative estimate, over the last year. I've tried reporting it to advertising standards. I've tried calling the police. I've tried reporting it to Action Fraud. I've tried putting it to the regulator. None of that has stopped it. So now, as a last resort, I am suing in the High Court for defamation. Any money I get, if I win, will be given to scam charities. This is about stopping Facebook facilitating the scamming of vulnerable people. That's what this is about.
And of course, Martin, just by doing this in itself will raise the profile of the fact that you don't do adverts. And those people that are being fooled at the moment, I saw something on your Twitter feed earlier, someone's been scammed out of £19,000 of his own money, an elderly person. You know, just by raising it itself, hopefully you're going to be able to stop this kind of thing.
Well, sometimes people look cynically and say, is that a publicity stunt? Well, let me tell you proudly, this is a partial publicity stunt. I am suing them. I want it to go forward. But part of my reason for doing this is, as I've had today, front pages of 2 newspapers, I'm being interviewed everywhere about it, to get the message out that I don't do ads. These ads are fake. Don't touch them. Don't sniff them. Don't smell them. And while I'm at it, nor Deborah Meaden doesn't do this either, nor does Peter Jones, nor does Richard Branson, who've also been featured in similar adverts. I wouldn't trust any advert on Facebook unless I did my own research, because it is rife with these for diet pills, for Bitcoin scams. And the problem is it seems to be totally unregulated. No one can stop them. And it's about time someone did. Now, my real hope is Facebook will get in touch with me tomorrow and go, fair cut, Martin. We're going to change our system so that people can register about their to be notified of any adverts with them in and can stop them before they go on. And if it did, I'll drop the lawsuit. I might ask the cost between you and I, but I'll drop the lawsuit there and then. But if not, then we'll have to go to court.
Well, the problem as well with Facebook, Martin, as I'm sure you know, is that it takes an age for them to communicate anything back to anyone. I mean, I've had issues with them in the past. I used to have a show page when I did a different radio show, which they took down without any kind of reference to me on the grounds that they thought something that was on there was not fair. But they didn't actually ask me whether they should do it first. I mean, they seem to believe that they're above the law, these people. I mean, when Zuckerberg went before Congress, he admitted that they had had issues in the past with certain things which they had fixed, but he never actually announced that he had fixed them at the time. He just gave us a kind of catalogue of this is what we've done over the last 2 years to make things better. But, they've never admitted any liability. They've never admitted making mistakes as such. And as you say, they seem to be impossible to police.
Well, the only way I can force them to the table is forcing them to court. But, of course, they're going to say that the UK courts have no jurisdiction over them.
Yeah.
They're probably going to argue that they're not a publisher, even though they are paid for these adverts. Paid. That's the thing everyone needs to remember. They are paid. They are making money from these scammers. They are raking it in, and they have the gall to say to me, We told you how to report them. Well, why do I have to have my team working on this day in, day out? Why am I the one policing Facebook? Facebook needs to police Facebook, and our politicians and laws need to police Facebook. It's disgusting that I'm having to do this. You know, it's disgusting that I've got people who won't talk to me because they think I've scammed them because of Facebook. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous, and that's the situation that we're in. I've got an old, people are getting in touch with me. They want their money back from me. Well, I've not taken anyone's money. I've spent my whole career fighting against this. And so to be put in this, you know what? These are criminal scammers outside the EU. I can't get those people, but Facebook are the facilitators of this.
Well, that's a question I was going to ask you, Martin, about the fact that where did these videos originate in the first place? They're not just in the UK, are they?
No, they're none of it. Look, I had an ASA ruling against a couple of, let's call them legitimate companies who were playing fast and loose with my image, right? But that's the Advertising Standards Authority. These are outside the EU scammers. And I can't. I'm not the police. I'm not Interpol. I can't take those people on. I'm no way of doing that. But I think what we do is we deny them the oxygen of publicity, and Facebook is the number one route. And Facebook knows this is happening. It knows it's got dodgy adverts, and it does nothing about it because it rakes in its profits because of it. Yeah. And I'm trying to do what I can. I'll be honest, I am bricking it, right? As big and as many campaigns as I've run, taking on Facebook is very, very scary.
It is.
Right? It is very, very scary, but someone's got to do it. And I've had amazing support today, and it is about time. But I far prefer that our culture minister just regulated so they can't get away with this type of advertising. Wouldn't that be better?
That would be better, and thank goodness that you are standing up to them because somebody has to do it. I've got a note here from somebody called Chris who says they've also seen adverts with your face on them on yahoo.com. I don't know whether you've had an opportunity to check that out.
Even worse today, on the article about me suing Facebook over fake ads on The Guardian and Sky News mobile app, there were fake ads about me on those articles.
On the same articles?
The irony, Martin.
So that's extraordinary, isn't it? Because what we don't know is how they generate this kind of, this...
Well, it's all algorithmically based, which is the problem when it comes to Facebook. They report them. How am I meant to find them? They're not being served to me. So it's like, and it's not one. My point is, if it had been one and then we reported and they'd stopped, I wouldn't be suing. Right. It's over 50.
Have you put a value on the defamation suit, Martin, in terms of how much money you want from them?
Well, we're actually going for what's called exemplary damages,
right?
Which is where we are damages not due to the loss to me, but in a way that Facebook can't just write off and say, you know what, it's 20, 30, 40, 50 grand. We can pay for that cheaper than fixing our systems. Exemplary damages says you need to make sure it is an example so they cannot repeat the mischief again.
So a judge will organise that amount, presumably, will he?
Well, we've all got to win all this to go in the first place. And again, I'll just to state, I will not take a penny of this. I don't want their dirty money.
No, of course not.
What I want to do is punish them.
But
go to scam charities.
But allow me to use my expertise in headline writing, Martin. If you put a figure on it, we'll get you an even bigger headline tomorrow.
I honestly don't know.
All right.
I honestly don't. I'd love it to be millions, but who knows?
And have your lawyers told you how long this might take? Because, of course, all this time that it takes to get to court, they can carry on doing what they're doing.
Again, we are in totally uncharted territory, but I suspect my hair will be greyer when we finish than when it is right now.
Well, we wish you lots of luck, Martin. Thank you so much for coming on to talk to us. Martin Lewis, the money-saving expert, suing Facebook for exemplary damages for the wrong use of his image and for the wrong use of his name in scam advertising, which has nothing to do with him. So if you see an advert, he's just told us he does not advertise, right? So if you see an advert with Martin Lewis's name on it, with Martin Lewis's picture on it, it is not him. It is a scam.